Wow, we need to talk about these crazy artificial intelligence news, huh? It seems like something out of a movie.
Yeah, everything is advancing really fast. It feels like we're living in a future we only imagined in science fiction.
Like, remember those movies where machines start to gain consciousness?
Exactly. And these news are messing with that fine line between what is machine and what is human, you know?
Totally. Like, we have the first AI working with human brain cells. Humanoid robots that are starting to feel the world, and Google launching a super advanced one for robots.
There's a lot to process.
Indeed. And that's what we're going to do in our deep dive today. We're going to break down these three explosive news stories and try to understand what they mean for us.
Let's go. We're going to guide you through the main points of each news story without getting too technical.
The idea is to give you an overview, but a very complete one, so you can grasp what's most important and happening in this big world of AI robotics.
That's right. And who knows, maybe even surprise you with some ideas and possibilities we hadn't even imagined.
So, let's start with this biocomputer thing using human brain cells. Tell me what impacted you the most about this news.
Man, for me, the most shocking thing is that this technology is already real. Corticular Labs over in Australia has already presented the CL1, which is basically a computer that combines human neurons with silicon chips.
Like, it's the mix of biological with electronic, right?
Yeah, and the craziest part is that this could be much more efficient than the computers we use today.
Oh, really? Explain that to me. Better.
Just think about it. Our brain is a powerful machine for learning and processing information, and it does all that using very little energy.
And silicon chips consume an absurd amount of energy, right?
Exactly. So the CL1 using brain cells can learn much faster, be more economical, and adapt to new situations, in a way that traditional AI is still struggling to achieve.
Man, that's crazy. And the science community is really putting faith in this technology.
Absolutely. There was even an official presentation of the Cell I1 in Barcelona just now, in March 2025. The scientists are super excited, thinking this could revolutionize various fields, like medicine.
And how does this thing compare to the AI we already know, like ChatGPT?
Good question. ChatGPT and other similar AIs need enormous computational power and a long time to train to do what they do.
Yeah, they need to consume a lot of data, right?
That's right. But CL1 apparently learns in a much more natural and effective way, you know? And the expectation is that this technology will soon be available for everyone to use.
Imagine the possibilities.
And the applications are endless. But going back to CL1, the CEO of Cortico Labs, Dr. Hong An Chung, said that this launch was like a milestone for the company. They have been researching this for 6 years. And remember that experiment they did teaching brain cells to play Pong? Yes. That was like a first step, you know? A test to see if it was possible to interact with the cells and teach them to do something. And it worked really well, right? And the CL1 is like the evolution of that. Now they have a real biocomputer that works within a system that keeps the cells alive and operational. How cool. But then, how are we going to access this technology? Cortico Labs is creating a model called Wetware as a Service, which is like cloud service, you know? You access the power of the CL1 via the internet. Cool. And what else can we do with this beauty? The possibilities are many. Discover new medicines, create more intelligent and adaptable robots.
Like robots that learn on their own.
Exactly. And the forecast is that this technology will hit the market in the second half of 2025.
Eager to see that happen. But going back a bit, do you remember that Cortico Labs had already caught attention in 2022?
Yes. They created a biocomputer that learned to play video games on its own, using human and mouse neurons.
And the witty Blaine even commented that these neural networks adjusted themselves to learn, right?
Exactly. And Brent Kagan, who is the chief science officer at Cortico Labs, said that this technology is like a new form of intelligence, neither human nor animal, but created to process information in a completely new way.
Wow, that's awesome. But explain something to me. How does this C1 work in practice?
They cultivate the neurons in the lab and connect them to an electrode array, which is like a chip. Then all of this is housed within a unit that controls the temperature, liquids, and gases to keep the cells alive.
So the scientists are monitoring and interacting with the neural network in real time, right?
That's right. And the ultimate goal of Cortico Labs is to create a minimally viable brain that can think and make decisions on its own.
Wow. And they've been researching this since 2022, right? Yes. And an interesting thing they discovered is that brain cells like patterns, predictability. They strengthen the connections that work and discard those that lead to chaos.
Makes sense. But then, what's the advantage of the serum compared to other experiments?
The chips they used before, the CMOS, weren't very efficient in electrical conduction and were opaque, so it was difficult to see the neurons. The serum overcame these barriers.
And Cortico Labs doesn't stop there, right? They're building a network of biological neural servers.
For you, 30 units, each with its own neural network. Imagine the processing power of that.
A lot. It's what we can do with this network.
Research diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, test new medications, create more advanced neural prosthetics.
And even combine the CLI-1 with quantum computing, right?
Exactly. Imagine combining the flexibility of the biocomputer with the speed of the quantum computer.
It would be a revolution. And Calcurtic Labs wants everyone to have access to this technology, right?
Yes. That's why they are creating this webware as a service model. This way, smaller companies and startups can also use the CL1.
How cool. This could transform various fields, right?
Absolutely. Imagine testing new medications directly on human brain cells.
It would be much more precise and ethical than testing on animals, right?
Totally. And can we still use the CL1 to create robots that learn from us, that adapt to different situations?
Yeah, it seems like we're entering a new era of artificial intelligence.
An era where biology and technology merge to create amazing things. And speaking of amazing things, did you see the news about the humanoid robots that are developing touch?
Yes. How crazy, right? Robots that feel the world like we do.
Exactly. Imagine a robot that doesn't just rely on cameras to interact with the world, but actually feels the texture and temperature, if the object is slipping.
Wow, that changes everything. So, how do they do that?
Century AI, for example, has created super advanced tactile sensors for their robots, Phoenix.
And how do these sensors work?
With them, the human operator controlling the robot remotely can feel what the robot is touching, including pressure and slippage.
Wow, it's like the operator has the robot's hand, right?
Yes. And this allows robots to do more complex and delicate tasks, like taking care of people or working in dangerous places.
And Boston Dynamics is also in on this, right? They launched a new fully electric Atlas.
Yes. And this new atlas is learning to pick up and organize objects precisely, using AI.
The idea is to use it on assembly lines, right?
That's right. And the cool thing is that it's fully electric, so it has more autonomy and moves more easily.
And the Amica from Engineer Arts keeps putting on a show, right?
Ah, the Amica. It's impressive. Increasingly realistic, with facial expressions and supernatural interactions.
Remember that time it gave a sarcastic response?
Yes, it sounds like us talking. Imagine having a robotic assistant like that.
That would be amazing. And Mox Robotics is investing in robots to explore space, right?
Yes. They created the SPO Prime and Robo Prime to collect data and build bases on the Moon and Mars.
And Huawei also joined the game with a humanoid robot with 5G.
That's right. And this 5G technology allows the robot to be lighter and respond in real time, since the heavy processing is done in the cloud. Wow. Robotics is evolving at a mind-blowing pace, and all of this will be highlighted at the Robotics Summit NXP 2025 in Boston.
It will definitely be the event of the year for those who love robotics. And what is clear is that robots are becoming increasingly intelligent and sensitive, and more present in our daily lives.
Imagine having a robot to take care of the elderly or to help you at work. It would be a real lifesaver.
But what about the ethical issues? How do we deal with robots that are almost human?
That's an important discussion we need to have. Like, what is the impact of robots on the job market? How do we ensure our privacy with intelligent robots at home?
These are questions we need to answer before technology advances too much.
I agree. But, changing the subject, let's talk about Google DeepMind and Gemini Robotics.
Let's go. That one promises to revolutionize the world of robots.
Totally. Imagine a robot that understands what you say, makes decisions on its own, performs tasks with precision, and even learns from demonstrations.
That would be amazing. But how does Gemini Robotics do all that?
It combines vision, language, and action in a super intelligent way. Like, it sees the world through cameras, understands your voice commands, and turns all that into movements.
It's as if it thinks and acts like us, right?
Exactly. And it uses Gemini 2.0 as a base, which was already great at understanding text, images, videos, and sounds.
And now it can physically interact with the world, right?
Yes. Google showed it folding paper, organizing things. And the Gemini Robotics, yes, still has a superpower.
The special reasoning.
Yes. It understands where objects are, where they are going, and how to move to catch them without bumping into anything.
Like it knows how to locate itself in space.
Yes. It's as if it has a bodily intelligence that allows it to adapt to the environment.
How cool. And what is the difference between it and industrial robots?
Industrial robots need to be programmed for each task. General robotics, no. It learns and adapts to new situations.
Like if someone moves an object, it notices and continues the task.
Exactly. It is much more versatile and useful because it doesn't need to be reprogrammed all the time.
That's awesome. And it comes with a bunch of tools to make life easier, right?
Yes. It has everything integrated. Perception, planning, code generation.
It's like a complete package for robotics.
That's right. And it was made to withstand the challenges of the real world, you know?
And like dealing with the unexpected.
Yes. Changes in the weight of objects, obstacles. It manages and continues the task without complaining.
And the best part, you can give it voice commands.
Yeah, like pick up that box or put this on the shelf. Super easy to use.
Imagine the convenience. And if it doesn't know how to do something, you can teach it, right?
Yes, you show it how to do it a few times, and it learns a pattern and applies it in other situations.
Wow, what intelligence! Google is already partnering with several companies to use Gemini Robotics, right?
Yes, the Uptrink Boston Dynamics Agile Robotics.
And they're concerned about ethics too, right? They even created a robotic constitution.
Here, right? Like a guide to ensure that the robots don't do anything dangerous or wrong.
That's good. And Gemini has already shown that it's good at its job, right? Yes. It hands over paper, closes bags, opens doors. Things we do without thinking, but that are difficult for robots. And it does all this with great precision, right?
Yes.
Thanks to Gemini Robotics and Ear, which is the brain of its spatial intelligence.
Yeah, it seems like the robots of the future are going to be amazing.
They will be our partners, helping us with everything.
So, to wrap up our dive today, what are the main conclusions?
We saw that AI is evolving on several fronts. Biocomputers, robots with touch, and Google's advanced AI.
And each of these technologies has the potential to change the world, right?
Absolutely. From the medical industry to our daily lives.
And you, who are listening to us, what did you think of all this?
Tell us in the comments.
And to conclude, here's something to think about. With this mix of biology and AI, what else will we see in the future?
What kind of intelligence will emerge? How will we understand consciousness?
These are questions we will have to answer together.
So, are you ready for the future?
The future has already arrived.
And it's amazing and full of possibilities. Thanks for diving in with us. See you next time. Goodbye. Goodbye.